Hey everybody, good morning. David Shapiro here for another video. We're going to pick up on Automuse. So last time, quick review, this is the second video. Last time we left off with, we kind of ran into a problem because each of the chunks got successively larger. And so what I mean by that is if we look at the data, so what we're trying to do here is we're trying to like build up a book through successive chunks. And so what we do is we include the outline and then the most recent, well here, let me copy, this will be easier if I just show you kind of like the whole thing. Okay, here we go. That was a summary, actually, I apologize. Sorry, we're all getting recalibrated here. Oh, well, I can just show you the prompt. Okay, so here's the prompt that we're filling out. This will make the most sense. Oh, let me zoom in so you can see it. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so this is the prompt that we're filling out because, and this is the prompt that we're going to be fine tuning. Also, let me make sure that you can hear me. Hello. Okay, cool. I replaced the cable on my microphone. To me, when I record, it still sounds quiet, but y'all will let me know if it's too loud, too quiet. The gain is turned way up. I think this microphone is just dying. Anyways, sorry for the aside. Okay, down to business. The outline. So in order to write a story, we're having to imagine like, okay, it's got the plan. Because if you just like give it the reins, it'll kind of just wander wherever. But in a past experiment, I generated a whole bunch of plot premises. So let me show you those. So here's an example. In a high fantasy world, there's a war brewing between the humans and the elves, right? Okay, so here's a whole plot premise. The humans are forced to flee back to their world where they must start rebuilding their kingdom, right? So this is a story premise. And you take that, so you put that here, and then the story so far, so this is like just a natural language summary of what has happened in the story. And then here's a chunk of prose, like so what's actually been written, and then what we're going to ask it to do is write the next chunk. And so what I've been doing is I've been getting all of this scraped together. So we've got outlines, we've got story so far, last chunks. We've got all that accumulated here, so we've got chunks. So I've got Alice in Wonderland, Frankenstein, and all these different stories split into 1,500 character chunks, right? So we give it one chunk after another, and so that way it can kind of keep writing, right? It's like an inchworm inching along. But the idea is we want to train it with existing novels so that way it can learn to write entire novels. Now the problem was, as we get further into the story, the summary of what's happened so far gets longer and longer and longer. So let me show you the script that I used to do this. I think it was this one. Yeah, so did I do 1,500? I did not. Okay, so this is there's a well. Let's go through all the things so far. Okay. See, this is the problem of coming back to code. Is like, where was I? What was I doing? Okay. Book to chunks. So this was the first script, and basically all it did was break each book. So we started here. These are the whole books downloaded from Gutenberg. So I took the books and broke them down into chunks. So that's the first step. That's all that this first script does, is it generates the chunks, and they're in sequential order. So it's just manageable chunks of prose. And then summarize chunks. So for this, what I did was I just took the first like 11 chunks, 40 chunks, and summarized them. So the summaries are here, and so it's summarizing each chunk, and it's a 1-to-1. So if we go to Alice in Wonderland 15, in the chunks, the summary is going to be a summary of that chunk. So what was it, 15? So thought Alice, I dare say it's a French mouse come with William the Conqueror, blah, 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 blah. So then you read this. Alice encounters a mouse who is terrified of cats. The mouse explains that his family has always hated cats and he doesn't want to hear their name again. So yeah, you can see it took, what, 1,500, almost 1,600 characters and summarized it down to 154. So that's a compression factor of 15-to-1. So the idea was we would take these summaries and we would, so you see here where I pick up the summaries. So summaries equals I for I in OS lister summaries. If name is an I and the name is the name of the book. So basically what I do here is I just grab the summaries for this book, outline, so that I open the outline of it, and then we accumulate the summaries. So then for each summary in summaries, we're going to accumulate the summary chunk, make it longer and longer. Last chunk equals, so the last chunk goes here. So this would be like, so Alice in Wonderland 15, so it would be this one. And then the next chunk would be what we want it to write next. So that would be chunk 16. So we just iterate, get the next chunk. But the problem was, even with these short summaries, you accumulate 100 of them, it gets to be really long. Because 100 times 154 is 15,000 characters. That's not going to fit into a GPT-3 prompt. So that's where we got stuck last time. Okay. So class, in review, so what we need to do is we need to summarize this. So the summary chunk, if the summary chunk is too long, we need to summarize the summary chunk. And I had an idea. I could have sworn that I put in the code. But, so the idea that I had was if summary chunk, oops, got to do length, summary chunk greater than 1,500, then what we'll do is we will, we need to grab this function, GPT-3 prompt. Also, that means we'll need those functions. Okay, so just copy this in here. And what we're gonna do, let's make this a little bit longer just so that we don't run out of space, is we will get, yeah, okay. So prompt equals open file prompt summary. Yep, replace chunk with summary chunk. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to ask it to summarize the summaries. And so what this is going to do is, wait, did I already do that here? Prompt equals open file. Oh, this is the full prompt. Okay. If summary is too long, summarize it. Okay, so since we're sequentially adding summaries one after the other, what it'll do is the older the summary is, the more like, so like this one, well here, let me just show you. This will be easier. Let me just show you. Keep it simple. All right, so we'll do summaries. Okay, so let's just open the first 10 summaries. Okay, so Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is a story by Lewis Carroll. So what will happen is each of these will end up getting added in sequence. And once this is over 1,500 characters, this algorithm will summarize it. And so then the oldest ones will end up getting summarized repeatedly. See what I'm doing here? So since it gets summarized repeatedly, the older the information is, the more it'll be summarized, so the more it will have decayed. And since it'll have this like kind of time decay, I'm hoping that will keep it smaller. Okay, so that's fine. But this also means that for every summary, if the summary gets too long, we're going to summarize the summary, which means a lot more calls to OpenAI. So it will get a little bit more expensive. Another thing that I need to do that we're going to work on is we're going to shorten these outlines, because like the outline for Sherlock, 2,200 characters, that's a lot. But Pride and Prejudice, that's 3,400 characters. That's too dang long. Great Gatsby, 1,800. That's probably okay. Frankenstein, 2,300. That's pretty long. Alice in Wonderland, 1,400. That's a little bit better. Because the thing is, with the outline or the premise, all you need to do is kind of have a guiding star for how the story is going to go. You don't need to give it too much detail. Okay, so now that we are hypothetically oriented to the plan, also let me make sure we're still getting audio. Yes, good. Can you hear me now? Where was I? I accidentally closed the summarize. Okay, because I was copying my old code. And we needed to do this because there is something funky going on with the stuff downloaded from Gutenberg. It all should be in UTF-8, but it didn't. Yeah, so what I did was last time I found out that I needed to encode it to ASCII and then ignore errors and then decode. So that'll just put it back into a normal text string. That fixed it. Okay, great. And then response equals GPT-3 completion response. Except what we'll do is we'll just do prompt. Okay, so if the prompt or if the summary is too long, we'll make it shorter. So that should fix that part. Let's save this, because you can see that this was 2 megabytes. So we'll save it as novel 2 so it doesn't get overwritten. Because you see here, we're just going to overwrite it. Yeah, so there's that. And then let's work on shortening the outlines. Okay. This one's fine. We can still make it more compact. So we'll just put it all in a single like chunk. Oh, sorry, my dog needs to be let in. Pause. Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. So we're basically trying to reduce the word count or the character count as much as possible. But also it'll just be in a nice paragraph, because if you look at the whatchamacallums that I made, the plot synopses, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, then GPT-3 just tends to not write in bullet points. It also sometimes, so here's the thing, sometimes GPT-3 handles lists really well. If you have a labeled list, so what I mean by a labeled list is like, describe a company. So a labeled list would be like location, and you'd say like North Dakota. Name would be like Joe's Emporium or whatever. And then you'd say like established, we'll say like 1848 or whatever. So if you GPT-3 is really good at ingesting information very quickly if you use a labeled list like this. But if you use numbered lists, GPT-3 doesn't seem to understand it as well. So numbered lists are more for human brains. GPT-3 doesn't really care about numbered lists, and I'm not sure why. But if you give it like a natural language paragraph, it seems to understand that a little bit better. It might just be that that's an artifact of the training data. Like maybe like it just didn't ingest that many examples. So we made this more concise by about 100 or 200 characters. But then what I wanted to do is show you the edit feature. Let's see, reduce word count, word economy. So let's see how that, invalid URL. I wonder if it's down. Text DaVinci edit. Okay, it might be down. That's fine. Reduce the word count of the following passage without losing detail. Apply word economy. Yes, I know. Following. And then new version with fewer words. Is the whole thing down right now? Status says operational. No incidents. I don't know what to do. Okay, let's just save that real quick. And we'll do a full refresh. Maybe if I log out. And then back in. And we go back to Playground. Hey, there we go. You can tell I do technology. Have you tried turning it off and on again? That's literally all I did. Okay, this doesn't look like it really did much word economy. The novel begins with a series of letters from Robert Walton. Like, there are so many like ways that you can make this concise. I guess it removed a series of letters and just letters. Okay, fine. I know it might contain sensitive content. Okay, so let's see. Frankenstein. So 2,236 down to 2,181. Okay, that's not so bad. So let's do this iteratively. So let's then take that output and ask it to make it concise again. And so you see, like, we're down to like 434 tokens. So that means that we're getting more efficient, because also, since we're going to have to send this through repeatedly, we want to be as efficient as possible. Okay, so let's see if this gets any more concise. And you can see how, like, if you iteratively, if it does get shorter, then it will be kind of have that decaying summarization thing, because, like, the further back in time something is in the book, the less relevant it is, but you might still need to know the key plot points, because, again, GPT-3 does not have long-term memory. Okay, so this just reworded it. It's literally the same word count, but not any shorter. Okay, so let's see. How can we make this any shorter? Well, you know what? Let's just move on. It's 2,100 characters. It's shorter than it was. Okay, so let's do this. One mysterious millionaire who throws big parties. It just seems like another parable about like how chasing women is bad. Like, just be honest, y'all. And I know that like some people will be like, you see, this is proof that women are all temptresses and you should, we need to control women. No, this is a parable about how men can't control themselves. Come on, man. Come on. We're not animals. Grow up. Okay, 1,756 characters. So let's run this through our compressor once and just see what happens. New version with fewer words. Reflects on the futility of the human condition. Look at that. Okay, down to 1,600 characters. Happy with that. Pride and Prejudice. So this one's going to be a little bit harder. And also, I'm done doing this manually. Let me teach you guys some regex. And I know some people say regex because it's regular expression, but to me it looks like regex because if you have EGE, it's the soft G sound. So I'm just following English standards. Okay, so caret, so that means anything that starts at the beginning of a line, followed by a digit, and we'll do digit plus, digit plus, so that's one or more, followed by a period, followed by a space, one or more. Okay, cool. So we want to replace all that with nothing. Ta-da! And then we want to have space of two or more, because at the end of the rows, it's you see how it's the new line? It's a new line and carriage return. So it's r/r/n. And so we want to replace that with just a single space. Bam! All right, so now we have compacted it a little bit. We're still at 3,300 characters. That's way too dang long. Okay, new version with fewer words. Nick Carraway. So let's see how much we can summarize Pride and Prejudice even more. Did we run out of tokens? We did, didn't we? Because this is long. So, because it's interesting, right? Because if you're trying to summarize a book that's like 800 pages to 1,500 words or 1,500 characters versus one that is like 100 pages or however long Alice in Wonderland is. All right, so let's see. We're going from 3366 to 2978. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. But yeah, because it's almost not fair, because like if a lot more happens in a book and you're trying to compress it down to the same window, like that's not fair. That's not fair to that book. But because it's too dang long, we really need to get this, get it down as much as possible. Excuse me. I don't think it's doing anything different. I'm fighting it. Come on. Can you tell that I'm getting more and more unfiltered? Yeah, if you look at the things that are underlined, they're in the same positions. Longbourn, Netherfield, Netherfield, Netherfield. Longbourn, Netherfield, Netherfield, Netherfield. I doubt this is any shorter. But that's okay. We did our best. Okay, so 2978. Oh! We did get a few more characters squeezed out of it. So we went from, what was it originally, 3366 to 2870. So that's 500 characters shorter. Not bad. Control H. We are going to replace. No, that's not right. You're supposed to do that differently. /D. Caret /D. Okay. /period. The reason that you have to do \period is because period is like the universal character for regex. /s, one or more. Why did it? Huh? Is that not replace all? It only did up to Notepad, you drunk. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, wait. Okay. Hold on. Maybe I'm the one who's drunk. Get some. There we go. Okay. Replace all. Why is there still a leading space? Find leading space. See, there it is. Oh, because I still had the space there. I am the one who's drunk. Okay, and then we do space of 2 or more. And so this also is good because like space of 2 or more. Oh, /s is white space. So that's like new line, carriage return, normal space, tab. So any white space, and just replace it with a single one. Ta-da! Okay, so now we have compacted this. Solve the case. Okay. So we're down to 2,100 characters here. So let's go ahead and summarize this as well. Because, you know, just the fewer tokens we send through GPT-3, the less money we spend. But also, because, excuse me, because GPT-3 is really smart, it can confabulate and fill in a lot of blanks. So it's weird because in my first book, Natural Language Cognitive Architecture, one of the principles that I wrote about in that book is you need all the relevant information and no superfluous information. So like everything that you need and nothing that you don't. Okay. So let's see. This goes from 2111. Is it longer? 2113 to 2131. They made it longer. No. Okay. We'll just leave it as it is then. Okay. So we've made our premises a bit shorter. It's still okay. Still not ideal, but they're compacted. They look prettier. They're also in just a big paragraph, which GPT-3 tends to understand better. So now that we're all caught up, let's do this. So for book in books, let's see. Let's add a little output, say print summarizing the summaries. Just that way we can see what it's doing. Do I have any other output? Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so print summary, length prompt, length next chunk. Yeah. Okay. Prompts and completions. Oh, that's where I've got them saved out to. Yes. Okay. So the prompts are all saved here. Yeah, okay. So the outline will be instead of a numbered list, it'll be a chunk, and then the summary of the summaries will be here, and this will get shorter. Well, it'll have a max of 1,500 characters because it'll be shortened. And then the last chunk. So this is the prose, and then basically what we're asking it to do is then. So this is Great Gatsby 07. So let me open Great Gatsby 07 in the completions. Let's see, Great Gatsby 07. And so basically what we're training GPT-3 to do is this. So they spent a year in France for no particular reason. So you see how it just continues it right along. Ideally, it will be, like GPT-3 will only spit out one whole paragraph at a time. But let's see how it goes. Also, let's not save that. No. Okay. All those are all going to get overwritten anyways before we go. Okay, I think we're ready to test. Let me back up my work. What is this? Automuse. Git status. Git add. Git commit am. Saving work for part 2. I know I make the most awful git commits. Git push. Okay, save work. So now we've got no risks. Python is Python prepare JSON L. Sleep is not defined. We have insomnia. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for subjecting you all to myself right now. Okay. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. You're watching this on purpose. Error communicating, no API key provided. What do you mean I need an API key? Guys, I'm having a rough time of it today. Okay. Summarizing the summaries. Hey, look at that. So it's still getting too long. Yeah, it's still getting progressively longer. Interesting. Because, so my rule of thumb, my mental rule of thumb is that a GPT-3 prompt is limited to about 6,000 characters. That tends to be around 2,000 tokens, 2048, which is the limit right now. So this is not getting summarized accurately. It could be that I'm doing something wrong. Prompt equals... Oh, that's the problem. I'm updating the prompt, not the summary chunk. The summary chunk needs to be equal to that. Yeah, guys. Ugh, man. Okay. Let's try that again. Oh, also, this is not big enough. Sorry. Properties, font, 28. Boom. Okay. So now the summary should not get too much. Oh, there we go. Look. So, yeah, there we go. Perfect. Oh, there. Yes, 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 yes. Summarizing the summaries. Why is it taking so long? The first one went by really fast. 6,000 characters. Yep. Okay. It's working. It's working! And let's see, most of them, the total length was, the longest was 6,000, so that should still fit. Frankenstein is a little bit long, 6,000, so this is why we wanted to compact the story premise as much as possible. So let me go ahead and axe this, because I'm afraid, if Frankenstein is going to be too long, then certainly Pride and Prejudice is going to be too long. So let's try something else. We will go to the prompt for summary. Summarize this passage very concisely. So we're just going to go full send, full YOLO, and summarize these things that are too... The length is too damn high! The outlines, that's the word. Words are hard. Yes, okay. So Frankenstein is presently 2180 characters. So let's, using a different prompt, make it shorter. Pity the fool. Okay. It looks like it didn't make it any shorter. I don't think it worked. Yeah, 1-for-1 output. I might have to do this manually. My brain. Okay. What happens if we turn up the temperature? Like it sees that it's already a concise summary, and it's like, I can't. What do you want me to do? It's already super concise. This looks like it might be shorter. Maybe not. Nope, no shorter. This is a tough cookie. All right, so Frankenstein is 21. Great Gatsby's 1600. What was it? Alice in Wonderland was like 1300. So we got to get these under, like, this one's got to be half as long as it is. And Sherlock is 21. Oh man. It removed periods. It's kind of interesting. Huh. I didn't notice that. Man. I'm going to pause this and think about this for a second, because this is tough. Give me just a minute. Okay, gang. Whoops. Sorry. Got a little bit overexcited there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just throw this out and start over. So, write a short plot synopsis of The Great Gatsby. There we go. So this one is like just a couple hundred characters. So that's not so bad. So let's just save that. Because it tells you the whole story, and it's pretty concise. I tried changing the adjective detailed plot, and it got real long. Let me just show you. After a lengthy absence, Nick Carraway returns to Long Island. Yeah. Wait. The first time I did this, it just kept going and going and going. Oh, I've got the temperature too high. Turn the temperature down. This looks like, yeah, known for lavish parties, the object of his affection, Daisy Buchanan. Yeah, so here you can see it just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. It's basically telling the whole story. Let's see how long it is, though. That's 2,500 characters. Yeah, okay. So we'll stick with 500 characters. We'll just see if this works. It's short enough. And then we'll write a short plot synopsis of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Okay. Yeah, because making those summaries that I had shorter just wasn't working. Short plot synopsis of is it Jane Austen? Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. That's the right book, right? Yeah. Okay. And we're down to 600 characters. Excellent. Of Arthur Conan Doyle's. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. No, tell me the story. It's never easy. If it were easy, someone else would have done it. Okay, so now we will go back to here. So 400 characters. 2,100 characters. Okay. There we go. No, it's still. Okay. List the names of the short stories in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. I don't believe you. Okay. Write an extremely concise summary of the following passage. Whoops. Extremely concise summary. Not working. Okay, maybe Sherlock Holmes isn't a good example because it is a compendium. Maybe that's the problem. Let's go back to Gutenberg. And go to book search, most popular. Tale of Two Cities. Let's do Dracula. Get it in text. Yeah. Oh, but that means I gotta start over with all the summaries and stuff. You know what? We're just gonna do 4. I'm just gonna cut out Sherlock Holmes. Because this one is too difficult. Goodbye, Sherlock. Books. Sherlock completions, and this is all saved in the GitHub repo, so I'm not too worried. Like, I can get it back if I need to. Those are the premises we'll use later. The prompts, that doesn't matter. The summary is Sherlock. Okay. I know I keep moving the goalposts on myself. All right, so now we've got a fine-tuning data set of 164 samples. Move on gracefully. Okay. There we go. So you see these prompts are shorter. They're reliably under 5,000 characters now that we've shortened the plot synopsis. So I'm going to let this run, and we will be right back once it's done, because after this, it's just a matter of uploading the fine tune and then trying it. And it's done. And it looks like it worked. So this video is already, 45 minutes long, and this was this was much more of a troubleshooting session. Than I thought I was just going to come in, run this cool idea that I had, and it was going to work. But looking at the lengths of the prompts and completions, we've got everything from 3,700 characters, 43, 45, 48, 47, 49, so 5,000, 5,005. So this should all be well within the correct size for fine-tuning for GPT-3. So with that said, I'm going to take a break, and we'll come back and actually test this in part 3, because I've got some homework to do with how to actually implement it in an automated fashion. So that's what we'll do in the next one. Is I'll get this fine-tuned model going, and then we will actually try and generate a story in part 3. So thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with me, and like and subscribe, etc., etc. You know the drill. Talk later.